Hey friends, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to do a little sit down and chatty kind of video where I catch you up on some things that are going on in my life because I actually didn't realize we are at the midpoint of the year, and I just saw on my Google Calendar that my second quarterly review is coming up next week. So we're going to be doing videos on that, but for now I just want to catch you up on a few things that are going on in my life. And while I am chatting with you, I am going to share my screen, my phone screen, because I know you love that so much. And I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup on my phone. I have some apps in there. I have some widgets and, things just laying around in random spots that I feel like I can declutter. So I'm going to do that while I'm chatting with you. We're going to get right into this. All right, friends. So this is my screen, and the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the greenhouse. So I talked about this last year, and I talked about this a little bit earlier this year, but I wanted to do a greenhouse for a really, really long time in the backyard so that I can, grow things in the greenhouse. But unfortunately, that project basically got pushed back so many times to a point where I felt like it wasn't necessary anymore. So I completely scrapped it out of my plans for the backyard. But we have had a visitor lately, and that visitor is a woodchuck. Actually, I'll share a video with you because I just did this video. There you go. This woodchuck has been hanging out in my backyard very, very often, and you can see that he's actually hanging out by my raised beds that I've had there since I moved in, and he's just been chewing through every single thing, minus my peppers and my tomatoes. So we felt like the greenhouse might be necessary for some plants that we would like to grow that need protection from the outside. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing with the greenhouse. The greenhouse actually delivered today. So I'm going to be building it today, and by the time you're watching this video, it will hopefully already be up and ready to go. So I will share some stuff on Instagram and TikTok if you want to see that. But yeah, we are doing the greenhouse, and I'm so excited about it because I have been seeing a lot of greenhouse content on my Instagram, and not gonna lie, I've been pretty darn jealous about it. I have been wanting it really badly, and so now that we have a good reason for it, we actually found a greenhouse that was on sale. Things are just working out, and I'm so happy about it. So yeah, I'm realizing that it's hard for me to multitask while I talk about these things. So if you see me just looking at my screen and nothing's really happening, it's because I'm trying to think about what I am doing right now. People who multitask, who do get ready with me's and answer questions, I applaud you because this is hard to do. But anyway, let me stop for a second and just explain that I'm in the list of apps that I have, and what I'm trying to do that I'm failing at is look at all of the apps that I have and delete any that I don't feel are necessary anymore. So that's just a little context of what I'm doing right now. But anyway, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is vacation. So if you did not know, I have not been on vacation in a really, really long time. And that is obviously due to the whole situation, the whole world situation that we were dealing with for several years. I cannot believe that it has been years, but several years, since 2020, maybe a little bit late 2019. So I have not been comfortable with traveling at all. So this year is the year where I finally feel like, okay, maybe we can do a little bit of traveling. So I initially didn't think that I was going to be going anywhere wild. I thought I was going to be doing some road trips here and there, but then we got an opportunity to go somewhere international, which I'm so grateful for and I'm really excited about. So I will be going to somewhere international this year, not too far, to be honest with you. We're going to Mexico. We're going to Tulum. I've been to Mexico before, but I've never been to Tulum. So this is going to be a new area for us. I am so excited. And yeah, it's just going to be a good time. We're going to be going for about a week. And like I said, I haven't traveled anywhere far in a long time in the past couple of years. I've done a couple of road trips to neighboring states and stayed maybe a day at most. But that's pretty much it. And I think the last time that I took an international trip was probably Mexico, actually. Now that I think about it, Yeah, it was probably Mexico, but in another area it was Los Cabos. So that's so funny that I didn't link that beforehand. But yeah, we are going to be going to Mexico. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be one of those trips that are different than my typical trips. We're the kind of vacationers where we like to do a lot of stuff. We're the adventurous type, so we do a lot of different things. We try to jam pack as much as we can, and we try to experience the local area as much as we can as well. That's just the type of vacationers that we are. And so this time around, we are essentially not going to be doing any of that. We're going to be just hanging around, lounging, enjoying the kind of like resort that we'll be on. I believe it's a resort. And doing activities that are on the resort. Apparently this hotel that we're going to has a ton of things that you can do within the actual resort, which we don't typically, that's not typically our style. So I'm excited to see what that is all about, but I am excited nonetheless to just do something, you know what I mean? I feel like I haven't done anything on my screen at this point. I'm just like so not good at multitasking. Anyway, what else do we have here on my screen that I need to do? I think I wanted to do new widgets, but I hadn't seen any widgets that were particularly interesting. So let me take a look really quick here. But the next update that I wanted to share with you is the podcast. So it's not really a secret. It's kind of a secret because I haven't like officially said, I'm launching this podcast. This is the name of the podcast. This is what it's about, blah, blah, blah. I have just been hinting at the fact that I am going to be starting a podcast. And basically the update that I have is that there are no new updates, which is weird to say, but I have my calendar, and I'll actually show my calendar. My calendar, all of the yellows, if you can see, are all of the things that we are actually in the works of doing with regard to the podcast. So we are recording, we are, fixing things up on the back end, and recording has actually slowed down a little bit because we've been having a lot of life plans on the weekends, and weekends are usually when we record. So we haven't done much recording, to be honest with you, but we did record our first episode and it went really, really well. We've decided to go with this kind of process because we are new to the podcast world, and my husband, who's doing the podcast with me, he's new to just content creation in general. So what we decided to do is we'll be doing like conversation starters before we start recording so that we can kind of break the ice and get him a little bit more comfortable with just speaking. And he also speaks very low and he's to himself. So it's just a way for us to kind of like get into the zone, and then we start doing the podcast. And I also kind of structured the podcast in a way where there's kind of like games. Like there are game segments in each of my podcast episodes that I kind of embed into the episode to make it more fun as well, so that not only do we get an icebreaker at the beginning of the episode to kind of have a little bit of a fun laugh kind of thing, but it also breaks the ice for people who are listening and get something really fun and exciting right at the start of the episode. I'm realizing that, yeah, there's no widgets in here that I'm going to end up using. I wanted to do a photo widget and just have like a photo of maybe like inspirational quotes and stuff within my page, but it's not allowing me to manually choose what kind of pictures that I want. So I guess that's not going to happen, unfortunately, but that's okay. As you all know, I love my widgets and I'm content with my widgets. I'm now going to go into my folders and see if there's anything that I can rearrange or add to. But the next thing that I wanted to talk about is hiking. So I mentioned this a couple of times, but I just recently realized that I live like 9 minutes away from the mountains. I did not know this. I moved to this house a little over 2 years ago, and I'm now realizing it. It's very bizarre. I don't think that makes sense. I don't know how I didn't realize it before, because I do have this All Trails app where there's actually a hike that shows how close the mountains are, and I just never put it together, and I never ended up going on the hike because the first year I was just very nervous to go anywhere, and then the second year we were doing a lot of planning when it comes to just like home renovation type stuff. I might uninstall this app. So just like the first 2 years, there was just so much things going on, and yet again, the comfort and, you know, the paranoia, the dynamic of that, of me not really going out and stuff like that, was a thing as well. So, you know, a lot of things played a part in why I didn't realize there was mountains nearby, but there are definitely mountains nearby, and I'm so happy about it because we started hiking very often. We started hiking like every weekend, and now sometimes we go hiking out during the week, which is so cool. I'm trying to see, do I need anything here? What is this even doing here? So yeah, we have been, I can actually move that here. Sorry. So we have been hiking quite often, and we have been enjoying it a lot. So there's that. We've been doing a lot of that. I don't know if that's an update. So I just wanted to mention that's something that we're enjoying. And then the last update that I wanted to share with you is Instagram. So I have had such an interesting relationship with Instagram over the past few years. If you are a longtime viewer of the channel, you will know that. You will know that I have been dealing with so much like stuff when it comes to Instagram, just my content, my handle, my goals, stuff like that. And this is probably not super interesting to a lot of people, but I did just want to mention it because, I don't know, I just like, if you're interested in joining me on Instagram, or if you're already a follower of me on Instagram, you might be interested to know that just like the way that I approach Instagram these days has completely shifted. So I no longer feel the need to grow on Instagram. And again, this is probably not interesting to most people, but I just feel like I have garnered a lot more community on my Instagram. And so just posting on my stories and chatting with people in my DMs has been a lot more interesting and more of a goal for me, because I get to actually garner communications and relationships with people that I follow, or people who follow me on Instagram. And I just really have been enjoying that. And I've also been enjoying like the broadcast channels. I'll actually show you it really quickly. But I have really been enjoying the broadcast channels. Mine is called the Slow Morning Collective, and I believe that it is now like available to everybody to join or create one. So I have just, it's in your DMs section. So that's another reason why I have been enjoying my stories and DMs a lot more lately, as opposed to, you know, oh my gosh, you got to post a reel, you have to grow, you have to gain an audience on Instagram. And my mindset isn't there at the moment, and I have been feeling really, really good about that. So I'm just keeping on with that. I'm just going to stick with it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that in case anybody was interested. I don't know if people are actually. All right, friends, that is all for this week's video. I know that was a little strange, and I apologize for the random pausing or the random rambling or me not knowing what to do on my screen while I'm talking. It is hard to multitask. I hope it was at least interesting hearing a little bit of some life updates that I had for you. And if you have any questions or thoughts on any of the things that I mentioned, feel free to chat with me. I love chatting with you all, and I don't get that many comments on my YouTube videos. I mostly get like, you'll watch a video of mine and then go over to my Instagram and then chat with me in my DMs there, which I also absolutely appreciate. Thank you once again, and I will talk to you in next week's video.